Hello and welcome to the Standout CV YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to add achievements to your CV. So achievements are anything impressive you've done in previous roles that have had a big impact on your employers. So I'm going to run through some example CVs, share my screen with you and show you exactly how you can add them to your CV. Now, before I get started on this, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe using the red button below so you get access to all of my CV advice videos. So before I start showing you how to add achievements to your CV, it's important that we clarify what an achievement really is, or more importantly, what would an employer consider to be an achievement. So really there are two types of achievement that you need to think about getting into your CV if you want to prove that you're a valuable candidate. These are work-based achievements and personal achievements. So let's look at work-based achievements first. As the name suggests, these achievements are impressive results you've delivered in your previous jobs, and ideally they should have had some sort of impact on your employer or customers. So something like you've introduced a new process in the office that's helped them to save time and money, or maybe you've hit a company target of resolving a certain amount of complaints within a certain timeline. So the general rule is you've put in a lot of hard work and it's produced a positive impact that affects other people. Now, these are very important to your CV because they prove to employers that there are real benefits they can gain from hiring you. And if you're an experienced candidate with a fair bit of work under your belt, these are the types of achievements you need to focus on. However, if you've got little or no work experience, then you'll need to talk more about personal achievements. You can still include them if you're experienced, but you won't need to highlight them as much as a junior person would. Now, personal achievements are impressive feats that you've gone out and achieved, but don't really have an effect on other people. So things like running a marathon, winning an award, climbing a mountain, getting high grades at school, or starting a personal project like creating a blog or selling your own products, running an event, something like that. So those are the two types of achievement that you can go into in your CV. So now I'm going to take a detailed look at each one and show you how to put them into your CV in a way that will get them noticed and make a good impression on the people reading your CV. So I'm going to start with work-based achievements. So if you're a junior candidate, feel free to skip past this section. But if you do have some work experience under your belt, then these are the achievements you need to focus on, because at this stage in your career, you need to be showing employers that you know how to make a difference in the workplace. So firstly, I'm going to take a look at what types of work-based achievements you should include in your CV. Now, in order for something to be considered to be an achievement, I think it should have some sort of result for your employer, and these are the most important ones in my opinion. Saving money. So money is obviously hugely important to any company regardless of sector, so anything you've done to help save your company money is always a winner. Generating revenue. Again, most companies need money coming in to survive. So if you can prove that you've helped previous companies to do that, you're going to make yourself look very valuable. Saving time. Time is arguably our most precious resource. So if you can help companies to stop wasting it and reach their goals quicker, that can only be a positive thing. Pleasing customers. Most organisations exist to serve some sort of customer and they need to keep those customers coming back. So if you've got some way of showing that your work's had a positive effect on customers or clients, that's going to look great on the CV. Growth and business targets. So companies in the private and public sector all have targets they're trying to hit in order to grow or improve in some way. These could be things like increasing market share, opening more locations, reducing carbon footprint, anything like that. So if your work has helped them to hit these targets in some way, that means you've made an impact and you should get it into your CV. Now, you may find that there are other types of achievements in your field, and if you know that other things are more important to your target employers, then by all means you can include them, but my experience in recruitment has taught me that these things are often valued the most. And if you want to see some more examples of good work-based CV achievements, then you can head over to this page on standoutcv.com. I've compiled a big list of CV achievements there taken from real CVs, and they come from a big range of professions. I'll put a link to that page in the description below the video as well. So now you should hopefully have an idea of some work-based achievements that you can add to your own CV. So now you just want to know what's the best way to get them into your CV if you want to make sure they get noticed and that people understand them. Well, firstly, you should add them in the roles they occurred in. Now, that may sound obvious, but the reason I say this is because a lot of people think they should add them here at the top of the CV because they want to make sure they get noticed. Now, I understand why people would want to do this, but it's not a good idea because it's too early to go into your achievements here when somebody's first opened up the CV, because they don't know anything about you yet. And if you dive straight in with something like, I decreased churn by 20% in 1996, they're just going to think, what, where, why is this happening? What's the context? It's just going to confuse people. It's almost like meeting somebody for the first time and straight away telling them how much money you earn. It's not a logical way of doing things. Your profile is designed to be a high-level overview of what you can offer. So by all means, you can talk about the types of achievements you make. I generate revenue for firms, or I reduce spending, but don't give specific achievements here. Ideally, you want to add your achievements here at the bottom of your roles, because it gives readers context as to where and why you made these achievements, and it's a nice way to round the role up and prove that you made an impact while you were there. So simply add a little title that says something like key achievements so that recruiters can find them easily, and then add them in short bullet points so they're nice and easy to read and digest. Don't make them too long, because you're dealing with the notoriously short attention spans of recruiters and hiring managers. So how do you actually go about writing these achievements? Well, it's really simple. All you need to do is describe what your input was and what the result of your actions were, what was the impact on the business. So this example here is really great. It tells you exactly what the candidate did and what impact it had on their employer. That's what hiring managers want to see. They want to see that you can make a difference and there's a reason for hiring you. How many achievements should you add? Now, this will depend on the role and what you've been able to do there, but I'd say try to include at least 2 or 3, but don't cram in dubious ones if you've only got 1 or 2 genuine achievements. If you've honestly achieved lots in the role, then you can of course add more, say 5 or 6, but only include them if they really are relevant and impressive, going by the guidelines I gave earlier. It's much better to have 1 really good achievement that blows hiring managers away than 10 mediocre achievements that take up too much space and don't add any value to the CV. Add numbers to your achievements. Now, you may have noticed a common theme amongst all of the example achievements that I've shared here, and that is that most of them contain numbers. So why do you need to include numbers in your achievements? Because numbers quantify your achievements and show recruiters exactly how much of an impact you've made. For example, if you're a project manager and you write an achievement that says, I finished a project ahead of schedule, I saved money from the budget, that's okay, but it's not going to wow me if I'm a hiring manager reading that. If, however, you say, I delivered the project 3 months ahead of schedule and I saved the company £10,000, now I'm paying attention because you're giving me some scale and I can start imagining you delivering those kind of results for me, which is going to make me much more likely to pick up the phone and want to call you. Now that we've covered work achievements, I want to quickly run through personal achievements. As I said before, personal achievements are mainly great for junior candidates, but they can also be used by experienced candidates to provide a bit of an extra boost to your CV. So whatever your experience level, I would suggest watching this section just to find out if there's a way you can make personal achievements work for you in your CV. And just a quick reminder, personal achievements are things that you've done that have taken lots of skill and effort and brought an impressive result, but they haven't really affected anyone else, just like some of the examples I gave earlier here. How you go about adding personal achievements to your CV will depend on 2 things: the jobs you're applying for and your experience level, so whether you're a junior candidate or whether you're an experienced candidate. If you're a junior candidate, like a school leaver, you're not going to have much work experience to impress recruiters with, so it will pay off to add some of your educational or work-related experience at the top of your CV in your profile. So, for example, if you're a music graduate applying for roles in the music industry, in your profile here you could put your music exam grades and maybe some concerts you've played into your profile, because that sort of info is relevant to the jobs you're applying for. But if you're an experienced candidate and you've got a few years work under your belt, then obviously you don't want to be talking about your school grades at the top of your CV. If you've got any really impressive achievements that are either work related or just really impressive, like you compete in triathlons or whatever, then I would suggest creating a hobbies and interests section at the bottom of your CV and putting them in there. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll have probably heard me say that hobbies and interests won't usually make a big difference, but that's because most people's interests are things like socialising with friends and watching football, which is fine, but it's not going to make a big impression on people. However, if you have some really impressive achievements, stick them in the hobby section there, and that could give you a slight edge when you're competing against lots of similar candidates in your market. So if I'm a hiring manager and I've got 10 identical CVs in front of me in terms of experience, except one guy has climbed Everest and raised £100,000 for charity, then that's going to give me a bit more interest in that person. So it's just going to give you that slight edge against other candidates, but it could make the difference between getting called or not. So if you've got the space, include a personal interest section and put it in there like that. So that brings me to the end of this video. So before I wrap things up, if you found the video helpful, please hit the like button below and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We make lots of CV and job hunting advice videos like this, so if you're currently job searching, I know you'll find them helpful. You can also head over to Standout CV to check out our library of example CVs, which are packed with good achievement examples. So thanks for watching and good luck with the job search.